And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell button do I usually push? Oh yeah, this one.
So happy to be
here. Is this working?
The pause before we actually get into it is making it funnier.
They're so gross.
You guys know we're live right now, right?
Don't say what I said.
You know we're literally live right now.
I know, but Bobby said something
You don't
really
talk about
gross before we went live, and it's the imagery's in my brain, and I hate him for it.
You're welcome.
They're all a mess. So, when we last left our heroes, having found their way to the Durelium Institute, the party found themselves in the cellars in hopes of freeing their friend Oksana, only to have be met with an ingenious mage who seemed to marvel in the ball-bearing-esque way, creating a strange ball-bearing golem that caused quite a problem for many of the group. With his scatter shot blasting out through the entirety of the cells, 2 of our members went down. And in a last-ditch effort to save one of them, Basil hustled over to V and tried to activate her ring of teleportation, and with a little luck, was able to convince her mind to take her back to the manor proper. While the rest continued to try and flee the scene, now moving through the small corridor that they were able to find their way into. It was Basil who was left behind. Now completely invisible, the strange mage called out to him. And surprisingly, Basil responded. The two seemed to engage in a bit of a conversation, with the mage questioning why they would break into the Durelium Institute, but more specifically, why they were taking prisoners in a time that they have not done so in a very, very long time. Basil then proceeded to tell the mage of all of the atrocities that he's seen, from going to the astral plane to meeting the Crimson Herald, and her seemingly input within the Durelium Institute these days. And surprisingly enough, the mage believed him, offering him assistance in the way of magical items to disperse this strange Crimson Herald. While the rest of the group continued to travel through the small narrow tunnels, hidden tunnels of the Durelium Institute, they finally made their way out. And luckily enough, did so with relative ease. Once they had left the vicinity of the Durelium Institute, the party realized that Oksana no longer had her ring of teleportation, and so they thought it best to hide her away somewhere, making a few suggestions, potentially taverns, somewhere else. But it was Oksana who made the decision that it's best that she hide out with Maggie and Carlos, an elderly couple that not only housed her for a time being, but also Grimoire. Finding their disguises, the group made their way throughout the People's Ring, finally making their way back down to Dog's Breath proper, where they left Oksana and headed back to the manor. Back at the manor, V had teleported back to the familiar gazebo. And while in a state of unconsciousness, riding the line between life and death, she was visited by what could only be described as a messenger. A soul from the other side. An old companion, Grimoire. Grimoire informed her that things were looking rather bleak. And even on his side, people were starting to talk. There were talks and concerns that there would be more and more souls joining the afterlife shortly. But V and Wilhelm and Oksana and the rest still had a chance. But they had to find the one known as Aurelia in order to do so. Luckily enough for V, Jed, Pluck. And who was the other one? Oh, right, Tristan. And Tristan seemed to all be present at that point. Just so happens. They were able to heal her and bring her back up to her feet. Bringing her inside to rest, it was not long after that the rest of the party, save for Oksana, made their way back to the manor. As they did so, they started to discuss what potentially could be done next, and who this person Aurelia was. As it turns out, Aurelia was the nephew of the current king. And it just so happened that she was also a student of a scribe named Cesora Goldgrip, who happened to take her students to a nearby garden, the Calepsy Garden, for teachings from time to time. The group thought it best to visit this garden and potentially connect with Cesora, trying to find what connection Aurelia had with the final book. And as the party rested for the evening gathering for a night's dinner, a strange knock was heard on the door. As they answered, none other than Mars, Grimoire's biological father, seemed to stand out front, hoping to speak with Oksana. And so, our story continues. You all stand somewhat in shock, looking down once again on one of these Nectar individuals. Some may recall what Pops had been talking to Oksana about, and potentially could recognize the individual standing in front of you. I'm looking for Oksana, the small Babbit says out loud. You can see he seems relatively elder in comparison to the rest. His white fur now patching in small grays. His clothes, albeit what would have looked like prestige at one point, are now worn and tattered. You can see stains of soot and grime throughout. You see a high blue-collared, his high-collared blue long coat, now faded from years of use. He looks both timid and somewhat nervous.
Hello there. I'm sorry to say that Oksana isn't in at the moment. But please, come in. Look, are you hungry? You look like you could use some food.
He looks around to all of you crowding around the doorway as he steps back a little bit. I'll just wait for Oksana. How do I leave this place?
Better question. How did you get here? This is a pocket dimension. Did Oksana give you a ring?
He holds up his ring. Yes, this one. She said to think of a safe place, and it would take me to her.
Well, this is actually quite fortuitous for us, V. Until now, I thought that possibly the enemy had hands on one of our rings and could have come here at any moment, so it's a lot better.
Sorry, I forgot we didn't know that Oksana had given it. Oops.
I assure you that I'm no enemy. I tried to save Oksana the best that I could, especially after she told me what happened to my son. But I'm no longer working for the enemy. Trying to find some good to do in my life with what's left.
Your son.
His
What's
name
your
was
son?
Siv.
I thought it was Grimoire. I thought that the way you described him to me, he sounded like that.
I believe that's the name that Oksana used. Grimo.
I'm so sorry.
Just sort of like,
I'm gonna go make us some snacks.
just hustles off to the kitchen.
You're Grimo's father.
Yes.
Then you are welcomed here. Grimo was very, very dear to many of us.
I'm
Please,
glad to know that he had friends.
He did. And, well, I know this may not be necessarily the time or place, but if you do have time, I would very much like to share with you his story from when we met. And I'm going to sort of reach for my black book, which I record everything in, but realize it's still not by my side. I'm a storyteller of sorts, and I think you should know the tale of Grimo.
Basil, go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage for me.
From the kitchen. While that's going on, you just hear,
One of you magic users should probably send word for Oksana.
I could, but she'd have to be asleep, and she won't like me when she comes back.
Yes, I don't have any way of doing that, Wilhelm.
Would you like me to go and retrieve her?
What did she say? Did she say she was coming back, or what was the plan? Did you just...
We were going to bring her a ring. So.
Oh, if you're looking for a ring, and Mars takes off the ring that he was gifted to by Oksana. Here, she can have hers back.
Well, at least for now, if not for any other reason to get her here to see you.
and he'll take the ring and he will leave to go get Oksana.
Okay.
All right.
Careful.
Basil got a 21 on his persuasion.
All you hear him say is "what" before he teleports out.
Scrump's gonna eye up the being prepared food is now open for the taking. So,
all right. With a 21, you see the small Babbitt Mars start to ease a little bit, no longer seeming as tense as he was a moment ago. All right. As he slowly starts to make his way into the door, through the doorway, he looks around. This is a very nice home you all have here.
Thank you. I think very few of us would be here if it weren't for your son and his contributions to our efforts.
I would like to
Could I
hear
get you
more
some
about
tea?
him. Tea? Yes, I would. Please.
I'll go fix some tea and then take a seat with Mars. I'll start by using my Fabled Stories ability in order to create these silent images to kind of accent the story that I'll tell. The story I tell is of the small Babbitt with a single arm and a single leg who began with a journey into the astral sea with a group of unknown individuals as they banded together, fled giant, strange insectoid creatures, got aboard a grand vessel and sailed across the stars, was wrapped up in a blanket, cast adrift, fought against slavers and giant hippopotamus-like creatures aboard multiple vessels, delving into the bodies of gods and facing head-to-head with vampires from beyond the void, to return to a city floating in the stars and eventually learning many truths about the world and the universe far beyond the scope of the city of Dawnsgate. To eventually face his nightmares, his truest confrontations in a realm of darkness, eventually learning that the light between his friends was what interconnected him throughout the entire experience. And eventually learning the fate of the world and what was at stake, putting not his family, his life, but his friends above all else. And the sacrifice he made. In that final moment, I'm not going to show the moment that Grimoire died, just that last standoff against this incredible ooze creature which would inevitably take his life. Your son Mars was very brave, and his acts still carry bravery with them, with me and the others. I hope you know that that he lived proudly.
From what's been told to me, he was quite a hero. And I've been foolish for so long, trying to do the same. I lost sight, joined the wrong cause. But it's good to know that the sins of his father did not get passed down. And for that, Dag, you go ahead and can mark down inspiration for paying attention during the campaign.
Yeah, that was really sweet, Dag.
Yeah.
Yay!
Good homage.
Damn it! Stop making Jess cry.
Oh. She's cried twice
I
already.
can't, guys. I can't.
Welcome back, Jess.
I can't.
I hope that I can help too. The Crimson Herald, she talks a big game, but her ends, they don't align with the rest.
What do you mean by that?
My story is also filled with hardships. Long ago, before we left the Grove, I had a wonderful family. A new son, a beautiful mate, but she was taken from me. I couldn't protect her. And so I desperately wanted to bring her back. I've spent my entire life learning of restoration magics. Five years ago, I was approached by the one that is called the Crimson Herald, who had a proposition for me. She said that she had access to an ancient magic knowledge that had the powers to right the wrongs of the past. That it had the ability to return someone no matter how lost they are. And in my obsession, confusion, and pain, I agreed. I began translating part of an ancient scroll, mind you. It was clearly a copy. It had one of the strangest and most powerful rituals I've ever seen on it. So much so that she would only allow me to translate 1/3 of the scroll. I'm sure she had other people working on the other parts. But still, magic I've never seen before. part of the reason why Oksana and I came to meet. She has something in her that's referred to as the God Seed. Something.
Eh?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Uh,
The God Seed is a small potential. Throughout these lands, throughout this world, the gods have left it behind many, many years ago. But you can't contain divinity. It cannot be kept as prisoner. And it will find a way. There are few who hold this God Seed within their blood. The potential to bring divinity back into this world. Your friend Oksana was one of those people. And it was a crucial component to this ancient ritual she seeks to perform.
So you through the Crimson Herald, you were harvesting Oksana's blood to use in the next ritual. Let me guess. Something about a harvest festival or something.
The harvest moon. Yes.
Did she talk about what she thinks would happen when this god is resurrected?
She said that the world would be right again. That the time of mortals ruling would be over. That our greed, our disagreements would all come to an end when an ultimate power showed themselves to lead the way. That this god, the butcher, would help me bring my love back. But the more I saw of her demeanors and actions and perversions, I realized this is not a god to follow. This is a god that would rule over all with tyranny and an iron fist.
Did she say what caused her to start on this path?
No. She was very to the point, not sharing much about herself. Just her motives, and the next step to be taken to get us there. All I will say of her from what I've discovered is she is cruel. She is callous, but she's also calculated and very intelligent.
Well, not to give you too much information here, but I think it's safe to say that we all agree here that that is not something that we want to see come to reality. So it's our goal, this group's goal, and at one time Grimoire's, to stop her. I don't suppose you have anything that you think could help us, information-wise, maybe where she is, or where she will be, or anything on where this harvest moon thing happens?
Most of her plans she's kept guarded from me. All I was there to do was experiment with the god seed and translate the ritual to the best of my ability. It seems there aren't many who have the capability to understand such old language. Very strange markings. Someone very wise, but with almost childlike splendor.
Sorry, you mean somebody else that was reading the scrolls?
No, the writer of said scroll.
Oh. What do they have a name?
Not on the page that she gave to me, or the portion of the scroll. But, as I said, the two other parts I was never able to see. Albeit, strangely enough, there was one section on it that I always found curious. A symbol of sorts that I could never fully understand how it correlated with the rest of the spell. It looked to be of what would be known as an ice cream cone.
Oh my god.
I mean, sounds delicious.
Oh no!
That's our
Oh, no! What has she done? No!
How much of Oksana's blood are you able to get? And how close is she from actually completing her goals?
Well, we were able to obtain enough for what would be needed for the ritual. Surprisingly, in a concentrated form, you wouldn't need much. It is merely the catalyst to the rest. In terms of her ability to use it, unfortunately, I believe I gave her more information than I should have. While not all, it wouldn't be long for her to be able to figure out the rest.
Can't you just message them up, be like, hey, that stuff I told you before, I totally got it wrong. This is the new info. And then give them wrong info.
A lesson I wish I would have learned some time ago.
Nah, it's okay.
So our goals are to resurrect this god in order to bring people back from the dead. Is that what I'm understanding?
That was the promise she offered me. What she plans to do once the god's resurrected. Well, again, she keeps most of her cards held very closely to her chest.
What I'm just not understanding in this plan of this really intelligent brute of a woman, who honestly I relate to a little bit. She's trying to resurrect this god to make everything better in the world, right? So what's to stop this god from ruling over her? She seems to me like the person that wouldn't want that. Does she think this god will respect her, or will she be its equal? I don't understand. Will she transcend or something? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you bring something back to rule over you?
Basically, you're wondering what's in it for her.
Right.
Anger.
I would also say power. To resurrect a god, to be the one responsible for it.
She's just betting that this god will respect her for it. And what, she'll be its right hand person or something?
I don't know if she's necessarily going to be using the same logics as us. A person in pain who drives themselves towards rage and anger do not need logical explanations or benefits. Sometimes the goal is to simply watch things burn. When I met with the Crimson Herald, she seemed to have very much a commanding presence, but even I couldn't get information about what her true goals were. And I don't know if that's entirely because she was able to, conceal them from me, or if simply once the god has been resurrected, that is the end of the plan. Destruction is everywhere. The sympaths are unleashed. The world as it is changed, and that could simply be its entire goal.
I would wager, no matter what happened to her, at some point, perhaps she too felt pain and loss.
Haven't we all?
It gives strange motivations, blinds your mind's eye, pushes you in directions you never thought possible. I can attest to this.
Not to be a broken record here, but just wondering. Just need to make sure we've got all our information here. You don't know where this harvesting moon ritual thing will take place.
The Harvest Moon is a citywide celebration.
Right, sorry, I meant, it's safe to assume at this point that is the same time frame that she will be performing this ritual. So I guess I'm trying to geolocate where that might happen.
There are a few spots that I could see it potentially happening, but none more of an indication than the opening ceremonies.
That's pretty easy. We find a way to crash the ceremony. We're pretty good at showing up in places we don't want to be.
I'm pretty sure the ceremony would be open to all anyway.
And that was perfect. We don't even need tickets. We could just go in, and
That's
they won't
right.
even suspect a thing.
But do we want to be waiting for the 11th hour before we make a move?
I don't know what time the ceremony
You have
is,
any
but yeah,
other
whatever
way
that
of-
time is.
Do you have a way of contacting this Crimson Herald?
Me? God, no.
Not you.
I mean, no.
And no. Oh,
I-
not
You
me.
were working for her. How would you contact her, and how would you set up a time to get together?
I don't believe it would be wise to try and contact her again. My disappearance would be questionable. If she knew that I have left, I could be marked as a deserter.
Even if it was said that you were just getting more information to complete the ritual?
She ensured that I had everything I needed.
And I don't know if I speak for everyone, but I'm not overly keen on putting Mars in any more danger than he has already endured. We already have a goal. Aurelia, even if these vision has even an inkling of truth, it at least provides us something to be able to do without necessarily forcing the hand of the Crimson Herald. She has powerful allies, and she herself is strong enough to, well, let's be honest, have felled us in the past. If we can get aid from Aurelia, I think that is our best bet for now, at least.
I agree on that. One last question.
Yes.
Since you've seen 1/3 of this ritual, would you be able to estimate how long it takes? Is it a really long cast? Is it 5 minutes? Is it a day? Is it one person? Does it require a bunch of people? Or like what's our time frame once it starts to stop it?
I'm sorry, but without seeing the rest of the scroll, it's near impossible.
Shot in the dark.
If we could somehow recover the other pieces of the scroll, or perhaps find another copy, I might be able to translate the rest.
Well, wait, that's not the scroll that Tristan is working on, right? Out of game.
Let's
Is
see.
it?
An ancient scroll that describes a ritual of major restoration that they went and got, that you have in your
Oh my
possession
God.
right now.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't Team Scroll, okay?
Yeah, we weren't a part of that crew.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking Tristan and Rob.
Tristan has it,
Hey.
and, you know.
I wasn't there. I was just given the scroll. Nobody told me what was on it.
Remember last
It's
time you said you
scroll.
were supposed to be deciphering it, but you
Yeah,
weren't?
I'm starting now. I haven't read anything yet.
V will elbow Tristan in the ribs. This,
Yes,
this is your cue. You have the scroll.
I do.
Oh,
I take it out and look at it and start reading it.
You have a copy of the scroll. He immediately reaches up and pulls it out of Tristan's hand, turning around. Yes.
Oh, look out. It's going to smell like stinky leg.
Yes, this is ice cream. Yes. Yes. This is it. This is what I've been working on this. You have it all. How did you come in possession of this?
We have our ways.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we do.
With this, I can find many more answers for you. I just... Do you have a place where I could sit and potentially a quill, paper? I think that's all I would need for now.
Library?
Library, yes, yes.
That way.
Yeah.
Show me.
I half expected one of you to tell him no and to sit on the floor.
I'll walk with him to the library.
Okay. Mars immediately leaves behind Tristan, following behind.
Is it just me, or do I find ourselves trusting many people who have literally just came from the other side? I mean, granted, he's Grimoire's father, but he was literally working with her, and now we're handing over the scroll just like that?
Well, if you want, you're welcome to hand back your magic item.
What, you talking about the sword?
Hmm.
So what are you getting all bent out of shape for?
No, I'm just saying.
I simply
if
asked the question.
Oh, well, speaking of which, I do need to give these to Oksana, and I hold up the braces of defense and go, wonder where Oksana is right now. She's still elsewhere. Yes.
At the
Funny
house.
you would say that, Dag.
Oh, I
For
know.
down in the regions of Dog's Breath, a small, more hut than home. Oksana stands outside of the doorway, the evening now over top of her. Oksana, you pause at the door, waiting to knock. The events of the last few weeks continue to reel through your mind. Being back in front of Maggie and Carlos's door seems both a blessing and a curse. What would you like to do?
Not going in. But you guys told me to stay there. She'll kind of like hang her head a little bit because she's trying to imagine what she could possibly say. And then she'll kind of like take a deep breath and she'll knock.
Carlos! Carlos, can you get the door, Carlos? Carlos! Oh, he's sleeping again. Ah, my God, that man. You see the door twist and turn open. Standing before you, a smaller elderly woman, Maggie, stands. Oh, Oxy, welcome home, little one. It's so good to see you. What are you standing out there in the dark, knocking on the door? You know to just walk in. Come on, child. She grabs you by the wrist and pulls you into the door. As you enter in, you immediately are hit with the warmth of both a physical and emotional sensation. The only home, aside from with your mother bear, that you've ever really known. The smell immediately of her rabbit stew fills your nostrils. And the smell of warm baked bread wafts in from the kitchen. For a long time, since being held captive with the Crimson Herald, and possibly even before that, this is the first time you felt at home in a very long time.
Oksana will she's still very, very happy to be home. There's some mixed emotions, but she's very happy to be there. And she's very happy to see them okay. Because she's, been worried. So she'll kind of like allow herself to be led, but also kind of give like a side hug. Hello, Maggie. It's so nice to see you. It's good to be home.
Oh, Oxy, you look amazing. You smell terrible. You look amazing, though. You're probably starving to death. Let's get you some food. Carlos, wake up! And she kind of kicks his foot as she walks by the couch that he seems to be residing on. Oh, Oksana, it's so good to see you again. Oh, my back. Yeah, of course you're back. You keep sleeping on the damn couch. Come get some food.
Well, stand up. Let me crack it.
Oh, no, you break it for me. That's, you're too strong for me, Oxy. Always have been.
All right, if you're sure.
Okay, just lightly. We do it the same way you did before. And he holds his arms behind his chest as he leans towards you.
She'll pick him up. And then she'll be like, okay, deep breath. And then, okay, breathe out. And then she'll squeeze a little bit to crack his back.
You hear a number of cracks down his back.
I demand a contested strength check right now. To see if you pass this man.
Somebody's rolling a 1.
Well, when you're
Holy
rolling,
shit.
when you're rolling
What
with a
have you
D2.
been doing, Carlos? You have to take it easy.
Yes, well, it's, work has been a little bit harder lately. We've been doing a lot for the Harvest Moon Festival coming up. They've ordered a number of, towers, poles, big
For
wooden
what?
sticks. Yes, for the effigies.
What is this effigy?
An effigy?
Yes.
It is like a person, but not a real person. Like straw stuffed into clothing to make the body look like a person.
What are they doing with these fake people?
Well, they burn them.
They are pretending to burn people.
Yes, it is part of the harvest moon ritual.
Are these specific people or just they are dressed up like random people? I'm confused by this. I usually spend harvest in the forest with my mother bear.
Yes,
It's too crowded.
a very strange tradition, but it's supposed to memorialize the completion of work for the season, that the people can finally rest. I believe it's meant to be the embodiment of the working class, farmers, carpenters, bakers and butchers.
It just seems like strange thing to do for festival to burn fake people. Don't let them work you too hard, Carlos. Tell them what's what.
Yes, well, with the Harvest Moon Festival around the corner, I don't think I have to work too hard going forward. Plus, I have been thinking about retirement lately.
I think this will be good for you. It's time.
Yes. Perhaps we'll join you in the forest one day. A small cavern.
I will build you a good, strong house. My mother bear will protect you.
We'll build it together, Oxy. You, me, and Grimoire.
She'll hesitate a little bit. And I'm guessing, she wouldn't really have much to say after that. I feel like she would wait to be asked.
Okay. Well, come on, you two. Come sit down. The food's getting cold. The two of you now join in the kitchen. The small round table barely fits you, Oksana. But you've made do in the past. You'll do it again.
Smells delicious. Rabbit stew?
Oh, you know it, child. Only the best.
My favorite. And then she'll just back to her old ways. I imagine the table was but she's hunched over in between her thighs and just yeah.
I always felt kind of bad about the rabbit stew when Grammy was here. But, now that you two are off on your adventures, having the time of your life, I guess once in a while it can't hurt.
I think Grimoire would be grateful.
I'm sure he would be.
Yeah.
So, tell us more about your adventures, Oxy.
Am I DCing? I feel like I DC'd.
You're back.
You're good.
Tell us more about your adventures, Oxy.
It has been complicated time. Some good days, some bad days. I think, Maggie, Carlos, I have some very sad news. It is important I share with you.
Oh?
Normally, I would come back home with Grimoire.
Well, you're probably so busy nowadays.
Yes, that is true. But you must know nothing would keep Grimoire away from you. Something has happened.
Oh, is he all right?
No. No, he is not.
What's wrong, child? She reaches out and puts her hand on top of yours.
Grimor is gone.
Like he left?
No, Carlos, he's gone. He's gone forever.
Like he moved? Carlos.
He fell in battle, saving my life.
Oksana. We're so sorry. We knew how much he meant to you. We loved him as well.
And he loved you. Look at magnificent home you gave him. Then she gestures to his little area under the stairs.
Leaning back, you can see the door underneath the stairs tilted open, a number of trinkets still hanging.
She won't spend too much time looking at it.
Oh, Oxy. Maggie stands up and walks over and just wraps you up in her arms. Even though a small and relatively weaker older woman, you've never felt such a big and warm embrace before. You feel, for the first time, in contrast to your rage, the sadness and the grief. And as you bury your head into the nape of Maggie's neck, she slowly begins to stroke the back of your hair. You feel almost as if a child again. A few moments passed as she pulls back. Looking you in the face, she wipes some of the tears away. It's all right, child. You go ahead and cry. You go ahead and be sad. I'm sad too. But if you say that Grimoire did it to protect you, that's true love. He loved you very much, Oxy. Don't ever forget that. And he didn't die in vain either.
This I know in my heart, Maggie. Thank you for your words. I just miss him. He was my family.
Losing someone that close is gonna sit with you for a long time, dear. Carlos and I, we had a child once too. We lost them too.
You did not tell me this.
Not something that we tell a lot of people. too much to hurt.
I am sorry for your loss.
So are we. But it was a long, long time ago. And while it still hurts, sometimes you have to find meaning in things to help with the pain. We lost someone dear to us. But then you came along. And Grimoire. And you both filled this house with joy and love again. And I'm not saying that Grimoire will ever be replaced in your heart. But one day, the hurting will be less. And someone else will be able to fill that heart of yours up again. Is the circle of life.
It feels long ways away.
Will you stay here as long as you need, Oxy?
It would be nice. I have missed you both. And I know Grimoire would have loved to see you again. He loved home. Remember how challenging it was to get him to leave?
Oh, getting him here in the first place? Oh, my God. That boy barely said a word for weeks. Just skitter outside underneath that staircase, steal some of our stuff, and run back underneath.
You came a long way from that. I can tell you.
He sure did. He sure did. As the night progresses on, dinner is finished up. Carlos starts a small fire in the fireplace. And thus you spend the majority of the evening telling stories of Grimoire. Only the happy ones. The days of you walking through the marketplace, him on your shoulders, snatching things off of carts and market stalls. And many, many more. Closer to the end of the evening, when Maggie and Carlos are ready to retire, another rap on the door, a little bit heavier. Who could it be at this hour then? Carlos?
Wait. Let me check. You guys sit down, relax.
Oh, it's nothing, dear. Don't you worry about it. Who's going to come up in here? Don't you worry. And she begins to walk towards the door.
Oh, I'm gonna have my hand on my sword. Just in case.
Oxy, relax. You're too paranoid. As she opens the door, a very large man stands in front, towering over her. Very wide shoulders. And a strange lopsided white hat. Just above a very furrowed mustache. Oh, we're sorry, we're not in the market for any knives, but appreciate you stopping by. Maybe come a little bit earlier next time, but good boy, keep up the good work. Take care now. And she closes the door in your face. I swear these door-to-door knife salesmen sometimes, they just come at the most indecent hour. Right before bed, sometimes before you sit down for dinner. I can't believe this place. This is going to the dogs.
This is a friend.
You're friends with a knife salesman?
Yes, this mustache guy. Yes, we are friends. You can let him in. He is good guy.
All right.
He
She
has
opens the
beautiful
door.
dog.
She opens the door again.
Now Wilhelm is standing there with his hat kind of tucked into his chest.
I am sorry to intrude at such a late hour.
It's fine. You can come in. Come
Thank
on.
you very much. I appreciate it.
He just gingerly tries to walk past her. And then just as Maggie's going to close the door, Petunia comes thumping into the room as well.
Oh, boy, it's a monster. Oh, Carlos, look at this little hairy one. Aren't you adorable? She
He's
barely
very
needs
sweet.
to bend down as she starts ruffling Petunia's face. You can see the amount of slobber that seems to be getting all over her hands because of it. She doesn't seem to care whatsoever. You're just a tiny little baby, aren't you? Oh, you must be starving. Oh, let me get you a treat. Carlos, you gotta get the treats. And she immediately storms off into the kitchen. I'm sorry about my wife. I'm Carlos, and she's Maggie. Welcome to our abode.
Wilhelm, it's a pleasure to meet you both. And again, I'm so sorry for coming here so late.
Ah, not a problem. We're used to things like this.
I am here for a reason, of course. Oksana, I know that we never got to really be properly introduced ourselves. But everyone else is a
Wilhelm.
bit... Yes, Wilhelm, that's right. I
My
understand you're
friend.
the leader of the group.
Is that what they said? I don't know about that one.
And I look forward to seeing your tactical prowess.
I don't know what that means.
Anyway, you actually have a visitor at the manor. I don't mean to pull you away from your company here, but it's a small fellow by the name of Mars.
Mars. Yes.
Yes.
Mars. As you see Maggie come in with another bowl of rabbit stew as she puts it down in front of Petunia. Petunia immediately just diving headfirst into the bowl. That sounds like a candy bar. What kind of stupid name is Mars?
Maggie, this is Grimoire's father.
Oh, you found his father.
We found each other.
Well, hot damn.
I think we were fated to meet.
I like to think so. No such thing as coincidence, right?
I am so glad he made it back to the manor safely.
Yes,
I was very worried.
He seems quite keen to speak with you, but no need to worry. Basil is turning his ear as we speak, I'm sure. It's a tall tale,
yes.
I'm sure.
Well, now, Wilhelm, before you start running off, you just look a little hungry as well. Do you want me to get you a bowl?
Oh, I couldn't possibly
Are you
impose.
sure? It's
And
my
then you just
famous
hear
rabbit.
a loud grumble come from his stomach.
Mm-hmm. Okay, child. She turns and begins to walk towards the
That's
kitchen.
a snack.
She soon, very quickly returns with a large bowl as she hands it over to you. We finished off the bread during dinner, but I'm sure you'll like the rabbit stew. I have my secret ingredient in there.
Oh, a good chef always keeps it a secret.
Oh, a
And
fellow
you,
chef?
I like to think so.
Well, then I can tell you my secret. My secret ingredient is butter.
Oh my god.
Wilhelm's face lights up.
Mm-hmm.
You.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
100.
You got yourself a good one here, Carlos. I'll tell you that right now.
She feeds me well.
Well, I have to. It's customary to bring a gift when you're a guest at someone's house, and being a fellow appreciator and all.
I'm just gonna pull out his book. 100 ways to use butter.
God.
100 ways. I could only think of 4.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It's the most versatile thing in the kitchen.
She begins to flip through it. You, my friend, might just be a genius. Thank you very much for this.
He starts to tear up a little bit.
Truly, thank you.
I'll honor it forever. Carlos, say thank you for the gift. Thank you for the gift.
You're very welcome, Carlos.
Listen, Wilhelm, you enjoy your food. I will be right back. There is just one thing I want to do.
Of course.
And she'll kind of leave the chatter of the living room or the kitchen area, dining room, and she'll go into Grimoire's room. Very, very slowly, and she'll kind of just like take it all in. And I'm looking for something to keep from him. So she'll like run her hands on the walls and just look at how he left it.
While looking around, there's small trinkets hung up and stashed away everywhere. Little things that Grimoire had borrowed from the marketplace. You see a few things that might be of interest to you. However, as you push apart some of the small rubble, you find a strange little trinket that you'd never seen before. What looks to be, or what once was, a very long piece of what looks to be a thin copper rod that's now been bended and twisted into silhouettes. 2 to be exact. A large figure and a small figure with big ears, seemingly connected by their 2 hands being held together. The small item is no more than the size of your palm. But the value, well, there's no way you could appraise something of this value.
She'll hold it in her hand, and she'll kind of like smile cry, and she'll just sort of take it all in and just miss his little quirks and his chaos. And after a few moments pass, she'll just nod to herself and tuck the figurines away and just sort of like rub her heart a little. And then she'll linger in the doorway a little bit. And she'll, goodbye, my little man. And she'll head out back to the kitchen, kind of like hide her tears a little. And if Wilhelm is done.
Really? Because I've always used parsley.
She's just sort of talking up Maggie.
You can use it for a number of reasons, but the one thing I've always struggled with and hope to find it within your book is infusion.
Page 43.
Oh, God! I'm so glad you came walking through our door. You can sell me a knife anytime, Wilhelm. You're welcome back here whenever you want. And so is this little cuddle muffin. Petunia is just completely turned into a puddle for Maggie as she easily rolls over on her belly. You can see it now bolsterous and pushing outwards with the filled with good rabbit stew as her and Carlos continuously to rub the belly of young Petunia.
Yeah. Oh, are you all set to go there, Oksana?
Yes. Full belly, ready to go. Petunia has full belly too, huh? And she'll like lean down and rub Petunia's belly as well. Just get in on the love fest over there.
Can I tell that she's been crying?
Make an insight check for me. Oksana, make a deception check for me.
Ooh, contested roll. Who will win?
Oh, not bad. 15.
The 15.
Bobby versus.
Oh! Whose charisma is higher?
Shit.
My charisma.
I got a +1.
I've got a 0.
Okay. I mean, technically, insight is wisdom, but
Oh,
it is what it is.
I have a +2.
I also
Fair
have
enough.
a 0.
Okay. You can see, while there doesn't seem to be any wetness on her cheeks, clearly her eyes are a little bit puffy, a little bit red. However, the rest of her face shows no real emotion. You can see that she seems ready for whatever's next.
Just taking a note of it. He will then throw his arm out for Oksana to grab. Just try to be a gentleman in a elderly person's home to impress.
She'll stare at you confused.
Do you want to? Yeah, let's be on our way. I have your ring right here for you.
As William holds out his arm, so Maggie walks over to you, grabbing your arm, and kind of slightly puts your hands around his. That's what you gotta do, Oxy.
Are we teleporting?
You'll need this, but yes.
Like, kind of just hold the ring out for you.
I see. Thank you.
A gentleman
Maggie,
and a scholar.
It has been a pleasure getting to know you two. I hope to see you again very soon. And I'll be sure to bring some baked goods next time.
Oh, a bake-off! I love bake-offs! Oh, I'm so excited. Maybe we can share recipes too. Oh, Carlos, are you hearing this? Yes, I hear it. It's good to see you again, Oksana. Wilhelm, it's nice to meet you as well. Both welcome back anytime. And don't worry about knocking on the door. We're all friends here.
Lovely again.
It was very
Shall
good
we?
to see you again, Maggie, Carlos. Next time will not be so long.
We look forward to it, child. Both of you.
Okay, lock your door, please. Don't leave your door open, please.
All right. You two go. And she begins to shove you guys from the back.
Okay.
Come along, Petunia.
Okay.
All right. And then we'll bing, bing.
Yep.
All right. As you both leave the entrance of the home, taking one look back, you see both Carlos and Maggie standing in the doorway, wide smiles, both waving you goodbye. And with that, you both pop on your rings, think of the manor, and in a flash, Maggie and Carlos watch you vanish. As they both give each other a smile, Carlos puts his hand around his wife, leading her back inside, closing the door, followed by the sound of a lock.
Hey, they learned.
And that's where we're going to take a short rest for the evening.
Ah.
With that said, guys, thank you so much for the all the bits, the subs, everything along those lines. Wish we could have wish we could have chatted about it, but we were kind of in the middle of something. But we do appreciate it every time. There is a hydrate cast that's been cast, and let's raise a glass, shall we? To all the trippers out there, thank you very much.
Trippers.
To all of you.
Cheers.
And an extra thank you to Dave, Dag, and Jess for such a feel-good Grimoire episode in remembrance.
In memorandum.
Thanks.
In the feels.
It hurt a lot. That, Dave, Dag, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Came all
Mhm.
prepared for this tonight, didn't you?
Oh
All right.
God.
I mean, when you guys were leaving and they're waving in the doorway, I totally got like a Princess Bride vibe when they were like leaving that hermit house with the two old lady couple.
No.
God.
Spoilers.
Okay, quick acrobatics check before we go. Hold on.
Okay.
Everybody up. Everybody stand up. Everybody in the audience stand up as well. We're gonna go over on this side. This one's called the Gaping Goblin on this one. Oh,
No, I thought you had to do like the.
and this one's called the Downward Dryad. Oh yeah, that's right there. Okay, we're good. Okay, with that said, we're gonna hop on a very short break. We probably 5-10 minutes, something like that, just to do the bio things, get a beer, apple juice, because we don't drink beer on this channel, no, never. So I would suggest you go do the same. Go get your orange juices, your apple juices, your pineapple juices, your rabbit stew juices, whatever pleases your soul. Go and get it. Now is the time for beverages and refreshments and everything along those lines. And hey, if you have a question, if you're new here and you have a question about the cast, the campaign, myself, the life, universe, or anything inside of it, drop it down in chat over the break and we will answer it promptly when we return. But with that said, guys, we will see you very shortly. Love all your faces, and we'll see you real soon. And we are back, ladies and gents. We did have a couple questions on break, so we'll rifle through those relatively quickly. Question for DM Dave. Do you like hurting our feelings with old people NPCs? Listen, Kaz, I make absolutely no qualms or any kind of lies towards you. Trauma bonding is the best kind of bonding.
Sure.
Question for Swiss. Are you lulled into complacency that Dave won't kill Tristan in this episode?
It's still too early to say. It's still early to say.
True. Question for Jess. Do you think Oksana will ever love anyone as much as she loved Grimoire?
No. No, she won't. She
There is no
Straight
Sicarious. I
up
mean, how do you
won't.
deny that?
Let's talk
No
about
shot,
that. Let's break it
Wilhelm.
down.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like her only.
It's a different kind of love.
Yeah, that was her family. That was like the first connection she ever made with something that could speak English. Like that wasn't a bear. Like, no, that's her family. Yeah, no. That's
Fair
it
enough.
for her.
To the entire cast plus Dave, where do you think your characters will be 15 years from now? Wilhelm, we'll start with you.
Sure. Wilhelm would have opened a bakery next door to the newly reformed orphanage in Dog's Breath.
Very good. V?
Let's be honest. Since she sent Pencil a pretty cold message, she'll probably be dead. But if by chance she survives, probably, I don't know, sailing a ship of her own, probably.
Fair enough. All right, Dag just got back, so we'll give him a second. Tristan?
Probably burying his old teammate somewhere.
Fair.
Wow.
Very fair.
I don't know why we expected a different answer.
All of it. Just waiting around to bury us all.
Come on, guys.
Scrump.
Chat. Do you think Scrump's gonna last 15 years?
I expected you to say that he was clearly going to be king.
Horse
King of
Lord.
all horses.
Lord of
Yeah,
also.
King Scrump,
He's
Lord of
already
Horses.
king of the goblins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
King
If
Scrump, Lord of
somehow-
Horses. Yep.
If somehow Scrump survives, there's going to be a horde of horse hybrid goblins plaguing the land.
Hey, that.
It's
Are
a
you
best
kidding
case
them as
that he
very
dies.
clumsy amalgamations too. Like it's just
Yeah.
not. It doesn't
It's
work.
goblin bottom, horse top.
I was about to say it's the reverse.
Yeah.
It's a reverse centaur of goblins.
They're really
Horse
top
dragging
heavy,
these
so they're
tiny
like-
legs.
Yeah. One push, you knock them right over.
Oh man, Oksana, what about you?
If she had it her way, she's gonna try to see if she can finish Grimoire's work. with the
Aw.
orphanage.
Okay, fair enough. Sicarious?
Well, for like V, let's see if he can survive in the next few months here.
I know, right?
But if he does, well, that's a loaded question because there's a lot of little outcomes that I could see for Sicarious based on how things play out. So let's just say if there's a 15-year plan for him, it is definitely retiring away from adventuring and trying to settle down somewhere away from all the chaos.
Fair enough.
I'll leave it as like
Right.
that.
That doesn't sound
Right.
right.
That's not enough
Wow.
murdering.
Yeah. Sicarious, the hero of the story, is clearly just.
I mean, there's certain goals, but let's just, I can't, it depends on how things play out will determine what he does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so therefore,
That's true.
there's
That's
too
true.
many options and too many, timelines
Variables.
that, I'm hoping for a more peaceful one, but we'll see how things go.
Right. Might not have to kill
Yeah,
the party.
that feels right in line with Sicarius' character. A peaceful resolution.
15 years from now, right now, not so much, but, we're talking 15
Up
years.
to year 14, just murder. 15, maybe read a book.
Really
Kill
figures it
one
out.
guard.
Therapy. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh.
he wasn't always like this.
Fair. Basil, what do you think you're going to be doing in 15 years?
Well, if I live,
I love how everyone's like,
If we live.
so
Free face.
I think it's one of two things. Either, well, no, maybe three things. Okay, either one, he would be helping spearhead a new age of acceptance of magic in Dawnsgate, using his museum as a means to educate people about the uses of magic and how it benefits people's lives rather than endangers them. Second would be, depending on obviously if it goes a particular way, maybe safeguarding the books of the sympaths and making sure that, they don't fall into unworthy hands, or making sure there's like a group of us who have that power, that have those same goals to kind of want empathy and all these other emotions to be in the world, but not necessarily be driven by it.
Cool.
And lastly, just maybe sailing the astral sea. That'd be the kind of like this is Basil's selfish finish. What
Okay.
Basil really wants to do is just be on a boat
Nice.
and sailing around.
Well,
So Nightmare King is coming after 15 years.
Oh no, that'll resolve one way or another way before 15 years.
fair. Well, I played quite a few characters in this campaign, so I'll focus on my personal favorite, which is Jed.
Jed!
Jed
Jed.
100% will have started his own booze cruise in the Astral Sea.
Nice.
With a massive dance floor that
Like a Margaritaville.
yeah, straight up
style.
Margaritaville. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Where
I
everybody
feel like we
does.
saw our two passengers just a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
I'm gonna unlock that door and get on the booze cruise.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's really what it is. Where he
Maggie and Carlos.
he teaches the finite dance of the stank leg. It's a new form of astral line
Stank leg.
dancing. It'll be fantastic. If I ever open up a
Goddamn Jed.
restaurant, it's going to be called Jed's Astral Boat. I love it.
Can I get a follow up? Where's Stinky at in 15 years?
Stinky, I think he probably would be your queen.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's clearly a power marriage.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's all political.
Honestly, realistically, you'll both have socks at that point. So, it's anybody's game. Will the chat NPC redemption be returning for this campaign? Did I turn it off?
Yeah,
it's
you
not
turned it
active
on.
right now.
I turned it off? Oh, I turned it off for that one episode. Okay. I'll turn that back on. My bad.
I mean, there's always a possibility of Sicarious just taking over the whole realm. I mean, there's that.
Okay, there it is.
Again,
That's the real
there's
one.
the, I
There's
want to
real
retire
folks.
peacefully as a warlord that rules with an iron fist. Amazing.
Waiting for
Amazing.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what y'all wanted, so
Will NPC Blink be making another appearance? He gave me real hero vibes. He was a true hero. He was absolutely a true hero. We'll see. We will see.
I was gonna say use the past tense was. I'm like, did he die already?
I don't think there was any other questions that I see.
I have a question.
You have?
Is
Okay.
Is it now canon that anytime there's any sort of little bit of time magic to fuck up, Alara will be involved?
I mean, for now, it's probably a good bet. I would say.
Yeah. To be fair, who else really knew about time magic outside of her after?
That's true. We killed Brazilians, so fuck.
Spoilers! What if people are watching these out of order?
We did
Everybody
what?
go watch campaign 1. Available on YouTube.
All right, let's jump into back into the episode, shall we? As Wilhelm and Oksana, you feel once again the familiar tug of the teleportation. Almost like someone's pulling at your belly button a little too hard. What? You've never had anybody pull your belly button before?
No.
I'm just trying to picture what that would feel like.
What, is that just me?
Damn, Rob's pulling his belly button.
Oh, your belly
Yeah.
button. You also have an innie. How does someone pull an innie?
What if you have an outie?
It's like a hook motion.
With tweezers.
You know what? Just after that statement, I can near guarantee that most of the audience reached down to their belly button. They're like, what does that feel like? Pulling too hard on... Okay, strange.
If you did it, you have to admit it in chat.
Yeah, exactly. In a blink of an eye, you've returned back to the gazebo proper. The sun now at dusk. Or wait, no. The sun now clearly set. You can see from the windows that there still seems to be lights on within inside. And from the chimney smokes a very large bellow of smoke. The two of you begin to make your way towards the manor.
Thank you for coming to get me. I appreciate this.
It was a pleasure. I'm very much looking forward to getting to know you. And
He looks like he's about to say something else for a minute there. And then he lets it go.
Tell me, how did you meet my friends?
hello, I'm actually with the Band of Liars. They recruited me into your group as everything seems to be coming to a head here. So I have had prior dealings with your friend Scrump. He once turned me into a blueberry muffin. I smelled great.
What do you mean? He is Lord of Muffins too.
Yes, yes.
He
In
is
an
more-
instant, I watched all of my friends turn into blueberry muffins, myself included.
He is more powerful than I imagined.
There's a true hidden potential there that I hope we get to see come out.
Wow.
Well, I was gonna offer you. I had some leftovers. I fixed you a plate, but I know that you already ate. Maggie and
So?
Moses, Good answer.
You are some kind of cook?
Oh, if only you knew. And you will know in time.
He gets like really intense.
Oksana tears up a little bit.
Oh my god.
I am so glad they found you.
Well, let's not keep your guest waiting.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
Go ahead and say.
As you enter inside, you see most of your companions in and around the main common room. Some still in the kitchen, others made their way over to the dining room. And Oksana, as you look around, seeing all of the smiling faces of your companions, all very much happy to see your return. You don't see Mars anywhere.
Where is Mars? I was told he came back here.
Oh, hello to you too. So nice to see you. You know, we came and saved you and all that.
Yes, okay. I was back already. Remember from last episode?
No, because
It's an episode.
No, I'm sorry. I was dying.
I was on
Oh, right. You were
the brink
dying.
of death.
Wow.
Okay, go back.
Nope,
Hey!
that's canon.
Fade.
Apparently, Oksana
So
can now
glad-
break the fourth
I
wall.
was gonna say, is
Fantastic.
aware
Bitch.
this is all a game. Yeah.
So glad to see you conscious. Come, give me a hug.
It's not really my thing.
I'll hug you against your will
Okay,
if
yeah.
I have to.
Then, yeah.
I rolled a grapple.
And V's just sort of like the awkward hug where you don't really know how to do it, and you just sort of lightly tap on the back.
That's okay. I've got enough hug for the both of us.
Yeah.
And then she'll look at Basil. Basil, well done.
Thank you.
You fought
I,
well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I lived. That's a good thing. I have something for you actually. So, and I'm not gonna waste our time and recap the whole thing. I tell her about the wizard and all that stuff, and eventually, I imagine at some point I just see Oksana's eyes rolling into the back of their head, and I turn around and I say, "I got you a ring. It will make you dodge better, I guess." And I'm going to hand the ring of evasion to Oksana.
Another ring. And she'll put it on another finger. Thank you, Basil. This is very kind.
I was gonna say if Oksana put it on the wrong finger, I was gonna be like, "Oh no!" That's fine.
Here we are
There-
again.
it's very possible that she did. I don't know what finger I'm supposed to put it on, so.
V rolls her eyes. Sorry,
So-
you were
Yeah.
asking something.
So where is Mars? He was here
Where
when I
did he
left.
go? Is everything okay?
He's in the library. He's looking over the scroll we got from the Lucrums.
You got the scroll. Well done.
Well, thank you.
You guys have done great. I am so happy to be back. And she'll just
And
kind of
we-
like, she's just having a feel good moment. She misses
We
her
are happy
friends.
that you are back too.
Me too. Those weirdos started taking my blood. It was very creepy, I have to say.
Sorry it took us so long.
That's okay. I wasn't there to help.
Well,
He's
well
not
done,
wrong.
y'all.
I mean, technically speaking, in the time it took for us to save her, we got a new friend. That friend got kidnapped. That friend then liberated themselves. We then reunited with that friend and then managed to go and save our own friend.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a very long 24 hours.
Much fourth wallness happening right now.
All right, well, to I suppose put a pin in this while Mars is researching some stuff, we do have I guess an appointment of sorts. We are looking for a woman by the name of Aurelia, who is said to be a relative to the king. We've received word from and at this point Basil will sort of trip over his words, realizing that he's about to just blurt out the stuff about the vision, and instead just looks at V to sort of gauge.
She's not even looking at him, but she picks up what he's putting down.
Oh
But she
my
doesn't
God.
make eye contact. She'll just say, well,
Yeah.
well, remember how I was sort of on the brink of death, as I tend to be a lot these days. This time, it seems I was so close. I heard Grimoire talking to me.
Well, you can't do it in both halves.
I know.
I know, right?
Yes, he gave us a warning, essentially, that we're fucked, to sum it up, and everything is happening quickly, and we must seek assistance from Aurelia.
You spoke to him.
No, I was mostly dying. He spoke to me.
A lot
Did
of
he
blah
sound-
on your part.
That's I
Did he
typically
sound?
do.
Did he sound well?
He sounded like Grimoire. I think he was more concerned about me. He did sort of make a jab that I was taking a rest too long, almost dying. But mostly
He can see us. He knows what's happening.
Yes, I guess you could say that. Yes.
She'll kind of like look around to see everybody's reaction because she's like amazed by that and very comforted by that. And she'll just like hold the little figurines, which nobody else knows is there.
Yes, in a way, he's still protecting us.
That was his way.
Mm-hmm.
So who is this? Who is this Aurelia person? Is it a king nephew? What?
We don't know.
Well, yes. So Grimoire has said in V's vision that Aurelia may have answers that we need, that we will need her assistance in the conflict to come. We know that she is dining regularly with the librarian, Cisoria, I think. Sorry, Cisoria?
So the lore, because it has been a full week since we were last on, Princess Aurelia is the niece of the king, and her tutor is Cesora Goldgrip.
Yes, who takes her to a place known as the Calypsy Gardens. We're hoping to be able to perhaps intercept her there and, well, quite frankly, see if she's willing to ally with us in the coming conflict, which now has a deadline of the upcoming festival.
Oh, that creepy festival. Maggie and Carlos told me that they make fake people from hay and burn them. It was called effigy.
Dave, just
Effigy.
Effigy.
do we have any sort of like prior
Effigy.
like understanding of what the ceremony is, or is this the first time we're really hearing about that?
If you've spent any time in the during the solstice, winter solstice. No, I don't think that's what it is. If you've spent any time around harvest time within Dawn's Gate, you would know of this kind of ritual tradition, if you will, where, yeah, they basically dress people up like workers that whose work depends and relies on the harvest, and they burn the effigies.
Ceremony is sometimes weird. That is all I know.
In about a week, Carlos said he has been working very hard.
I think at this point, V will recap everything that was shared by Grimoire's father, just to, speed up the understanding of all the stuff with her blood and the gods and blah, blah, blah. So that's...
Oksana will, I maybe understand like 18%.
Right.
As the brains of the party does.
Yeah.
The leader.
Just takes the important stuff, forgets the rest.
Yeah.
As you all continue to have this conversation, suddenly you hear the scuttering of feet on the floor as it moves closer and closer to the common area. Whipping around the corner, you can see Mars now with the scroll pulled out in front of his face, while he seems very intent on it. I think I found another piece of the puzzle. Oh, Oksana, you've made it.
Mars, my friend, and she'll like swoop down and give him a big hug. I am so glad you made.
Oh no!
Don't leave us in suspense.
What did she say? What did she say? Oh God, what did she say?
She's overloaded her hug.
We'll
There
never
she is.
know.
Oh, yeah, there she is. Yeah. There she is.
You're back. You cut out right when you hugged them.
That's fine.
You're like, I hug.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
I am so glad you made it back. I was
You're
very worried.
a very strong one, Oksana. Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. And I'll relax a little bit.
it's good to see you two. I've met all of your friends here. They've been very cordial.
Yes, they are wonderful.
I can see why Greymoor, Civ, like them so much. Anyway, I've been looking over this scroll. I've been translating part of this for the Crimson Herald for what's years at this point in time. I've never seen the full manuscript before, but looking at it, it has so much more knowledge in here than I could have ever asked for. And I think, Basil, you were the one who was saying something about the Sympass. Now, I've heard that word before. Something to do with the tome that she carries around with her. A source of her power. From my understanding, and from the history that I've accumulated over the time, the Sympaths, there was a moment in time long ago where the merging of them, if I remember correctly, was part of the reason why the Feywild was broken away from its own plane and brought into this realm as Lumnador. But that got me to thinking, there is a part of this manuscript that does require, for a massive resurrection or restoration, a piece of either the old body or something that was close to the body at some point would heighten the power of the ritual itself. Now, if I put two and two together, if the Sympaths are capable of ripping open a breach, if you will, between the realms, they could essentially collect a piece of a dead god and bring it back to the material plane, specifically for this ritual.
You are talking of planes?
Yes, the various planes.
Oh boy.
Yes. My thoughts exactly, Oksana. So this would make sense if they're using that as the binding piece, the god seed that was collected from Oksana as the catalyst. Then the other portion must be the power that is used for the ritual.
And do you have an inclination of what the power is?
I am getting to that. I'm still translating it. It'll probably take me the remainder of the evening. Yeah, if I go through the entire night studying it, I can try and get through it before morning. But
no, look, Mars, we have time and we have things that we need to do as well. You have endured a lot. I think for the sake of the translation, you should rest up for now, and then perhaps commence in the morning.
Are you sure? I just want to make sure that I'm helping.
You are, and you've already done so much for us. We do have a week. That is plenty of time, especially at the rate you suggest you might be able to do this. And, of course, we want to make sure that you're not too tired to do these translations, that you might errantly slip in your work. It would do benefit to all to make sure that you are well rested.
All right, if you say that's we have the time, Basil, then I could use some rest. It's been a bit of an emotional and stimulating last few days.
We insist. Rest, please.
Is there a room that I could stay in? It's fine if not. I could sleep on the floor.
You can have my room.
I wouldn't want to take your room, Oksana. No, I would.
What about Grimoire's room? No.
Oh shit, she's turned it into a shrine.
No, I was
she's made
I would
she's made a
just- I
tiny
feel like-
fur
no,
effigy
I-
out of all of Grimoire's shavings, like
I-
just made a tiny little furry Grimoire.
It's a
Oksana's
sensitive
got a new
subject, I
sewing
get
room.
it.
I feel like he would be sad.
If it's all the same, Oksana, I wouldn't mind staying in Siv's room, even if it's just to maybe feel a bit closer to him for one more night.
If this is what you prefer, of course.
I'd like that, if it's all right with all of you.
Of course.
Thank you.
I will show you the way.
I'll return the scroll to the library first, but we'll go after if that's all right.
Yes.
Okay, I'll return in a moment. And you see him scutter off again.
Well, so what's our plan? We sleep and then head out in the morning, or are we waiting for a pluck to come? I can't remember.
Well, I think
He's
much like we
he's
said.
taking a lot of bumps on the head.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. We should definitely follow the advice we just gave to poor Mars and get some rest ourselves. We did go through quite a bit.
I am confused.
About what, Oksana?
Well, she has half of what she needs, this Crimson Herald,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know what other half of what she needs is. This is why we are going to. Okay, then I am not confused.
Fantastic. Good.
Manos! You're really growing. It has been a pleasure to watch you grow.
Oh, thank you. So then I guess, yes, I think it would be best if we went to sleep. If we are going to this garden, I don't think much tutoring will happen at night, right?
No.
So why not take some rest?
So hold on a second. Again, hit really hard on the head. So our plan is to just walk into the garden. Like, what is our plan? Did we come up with one already? Or
No, we do not have a plan.
okay, so
What if we dress up as gardener?
Oh, really?
I think, didn't Basil have a plan of some kind? We all spoke of this.
Yes. I believe we
it
spoke
could
of...
also. It could be just a trap that we're being sent into as well.
You mean Grimoire's vision is trying to send us on a trap, Sicarious?
It's quite possible if it's not actually Grimoire and it was just used as his image. It's possible. Lots of things that are
How
possible.
dare you?
okay.
I'm just
So-
being realistic that there's many
You're
options.
you're being realistic by casting doubt on a vision in someone's dream. This is a very weird world we
merely
live
just stating a point.
in. Anyway, the plan as
Because
We
everywhere
try-
we've gone so far, there's been something waiting there to kick our butts.
Yes, but usually they trick us with food or something and put us to sleep before they try to kill
And I'm
us.
trying to avoid that.
Twice.
That's true. Or I just end up making friends with them. Now listen,
Exactly.
plan
Very
plan
suspicious.
Yes.
the plan is
Mhm.
that we're going to use the name of Vespera as the Oracle of Love, a very high-profile individual within the city, in order to try and ascertain a sudden table to secure an appearance. This is just what we're going to be using in order to try and get us through the front door. Once we're there, however, we are simply there to the capacity of guests until hopefully we run into them around lunchtime, which is when we believe that they should be going to the gardens.
Okay, I will not talk. Got it.
So why don't you call her now?
Well, we're not actually asking Vespera to come. We're just using Vespera's name. I mean, we could ask her to come, but I mean, I don't feel as I feel as though maybe relying a little too much on her might ingratiate our efforts to her a little bit more than I'd be comfortable with. Thus far, we've been fortunate she's not asked for anything in return for everything she's done already, but I am not overly eager to push that further than necessary. And I don't think it'd be necessary, at least here.
All right.
All right.
Well, I forgot. I have that item that can make me look like her. So there's that too. You could pretend to be her.
Wonderful. Even better. Well, I think we have a plan. I think we have our deadlines and everyone has their tasks. I'm going to get some rest.
Good night, Basil.
Basil doesn't say goodnight, but he does seem to go off with a lot on his mind.
Oh.
What an asshole.
What's the matter with him?
But this is the first time Oksana's seen that. It's like, oh, Basil. And then it's like, oh, wait.
Yeah, she'll ask out loud. What is the matter with him? Awkward silence.
Yep.
I'm
Looks at V.
I'll look at V.
Jess, you love this.
Basil and I had a little talk, and I don't think it went the way that he probably would have wanted it to.
What did you talk of? She's missing all of your social cues. The fact that you obviously don't want to talk about it, not registering.
I just realized in this moment that like Oksana is the perfect inquisitor for V.
Great. So earnest.
Well, I just told him how it was.
How is it?
What are we talking of? What is?
Suddenly, out of the corner of your eye, you see Wilhelm stirring a pot and looking over.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that because
he's a gossip man when it comes to love.
I'm glad you said it. As you returned to the kitchen, Wilhelm, you would have found it in a complete mess. And Scrump has had every cupboard, every drawer, every utensil either thrown about or on the table while you were gone. There's been a lot going on. He's like, Wilhelm, you're back. Oh, cool, you can help me clean up. Did you know that you could put stuff inside butter?
You
like
get picked
potions.
Up by the chest and pushed up against a wall.
Oh, hey! I like it when you make me feel...
What have you done to the kitchen?
I unlock secrets that you'll never find out.
No release.
Oh, God.
Right. Everything can be cleaned. Everything's fine.
I had an idea. You like butter. I like potions. What if I combine them? He kind of holds up.
One of the 100 ways to use butter.
101. And he holds up like a stick of butter.
Potion 101.
Oh my God. The stick of butter is like red tinted. It is literally just a healing potion infused butter. So next time we gotta heal, somebody's gotta mow this thing down when they want some help.
Sign me up.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Now, Scrump,
Enough stalling for V now.
Scrump, I will say that you did receive an experimental elixir this evening.
Oh, perfect.
So
So he has
Hey!
2 sticks of butter, and he's like, I don't know what this one does. Still dying from the joke.
Wilhelm will snatch it.
Which one? The healing or the other?
No, the other one.
Experimental, perfect.
He'll pop it open. And he's eyeing you the whole time, just
It's a straight stick of butter. It's like a stick of butter.
and he'll drink it.
As you pop it open, you see that all he's really done is just shoved a vial directly into the butter for this one.
See, Dave, I pictured the butter had like broken glass in it.
Yeah, like he made it with just like a mortar and pestle. He just
Literally
stuck
just
butter
took-
and the potion bottle and just.
And 1 healing potion.
Wilhelm wants to know that all of this mess wasn't for nothing, and therefore he's gonna drink it.
You're gonna drink the butter potion?
He's gonna drink the
Experimental
one.
chat elixir.
You know the one.
Okay.
Oh god.
All right.
God.
Well, hold on. Let me get the
15
roll
minutes
table.
left in this episode. Let's fucking go crazy.
Oh boy.
Let's go.
Where did I put those?
Chat?
Okay,
Wilhelm
let's go.
dies.
Let's jump back to the V scene for a
I was
moment with
gonna say,
Oksana.
let's-
while
she's
I find,
squirming. Let's get her back
yeah,
to
I'm not gonna let her
squirming.
off that easy. Don't worry.
God, I got out of it.
I was trying to save it for the cliffhanger. Thought it was
Time V opens up a little bit here.
As
I
V,
believe,
Thanks, Vita.
yeah, V stares towards Oksana's blank but inquisitive face, seemingly not off the hook yet.
Hmm.
I believe the question was, what are we speaking of?
Right. Look, I had to know what he wanted from me. I have look, you have seen it. I have gone down so many times and almost died so many times. And frankly, the only reason that I am here today is because of Basil, and he keeps coming in and risking himself to save me every time. So I needed to know why.
You are complaining of help.
Haven't you understood
nobody
that she's
like
not
us.
used to people being there for her? That's quite obvious.
Nobody like Oksana to put shit in perspective.
Right? Yeah. I feel like I was gonna clipboard and a pen.
I am confused. He is doing nice thing for you. You should be happy.
I just don't want it.
Why not?
You don't want help when you are dying.
For somebody who is always complaining that no one's there, you get it, and now you don't want it. I do not understand either.
I don't want it from Basil because
not?
Basil, he's always getting himself into trouble, and he's for me. And if I happen to, for instance, this time, if I woke up and he didn't come back, I don't think I'd be able to live with myself. And I don't want that. I don't want that version of my future.
You don't want to help him.
What?
This is problem? You said if you woke up and he didn't come back.
Yes.
You don't want him around because he helped you.
She's afraid
No.
of the loss.
Yes, if he didn't come back as in
I love how everybody's chiming in on psychoanalyzing me.
well, because he risked himself. Basil has barely any way of healing or getting me anywhere. And in fact, from the account of things, he was left there alone with the person that almost killed us all. So if he didn't come back, meaning he died, that is what I don't want.
Out of the corner of your eye, you see Wilhelm stirring a pot and leaning in, and then Scrum, far shorter, with a smaller pot.
Yeah. Mine just got glass in it.
But this is part of friendship and of caring for somebody. There is risk involved. If he is willing to take it, then that is his business.
Not if I can help it. I told him not to.
So you're going to push him away before he even has a chance.
Push him away from what?
Looks at Oksana like, seriously? You can't tell?
No idea. No clue. Everything for her is platonic, so she doesn't get it.
Look, it's like this. If I tell him to stop, in a way, I am saving him. Because let's be honest, eventually it's not going to work. And the one time it doesn't work, he's going to die.
But this is not your choice. It is his to make. It is nice that he's making that choice. I would make that choice for any one of you. This is friendship.
Yes, friendship. It's too much for friendship.
Would you do it for us?
She looks at Sicarious.
Wow. Wow.
Wait! She looks at Sicarious and she says, yes.
Well then, is your life not worth as much as ours?
Yes, but it's... Look, it's different with Basil, all right? It just is. I don't know why, it just is.
She's working it out.
Therapist Oksana is my favorite Oksana so far.
Yeah.
I know.
Right after it's like Goosana and Therapist Oksana. Like they're
Yeah.
Take it from me. It hurts when you lose somebody. But it's still those memories that you will hold on to forever. And it is worth taking that chance.
It sounds like they're talking about stuff that we'd never understand, right, Wilhelm? Oh, wait. Sorry, Wilhelm.
There's a tear running down Wilhelm's cheek.
Let me just stir that for you, big guy. I'll take over for a second.
Catches it in his little pot.
Oksana, I'm ready to go when you are.
She's looking at V and then like immediately forgets that she was ever interested. And then and then goes, of course, my friend, this way. And she'll head off to Greenmoor's room.
Good night, everyone. Pleasure to meet all of you. And he follows behind Oksana. Making your way up to the room, Oksana, you push the door open slowly. The room is relatively made up. However, there's a number of trinkets and objects that sit on Grimoire's bed. You can see predominantly a small aviator cap with the goggles attached, resting close to the pillow. Another number of other items, including a small music box, a set of thieves' tools. Mars walks over to the bed, looking at some of the objects. Well, seems he was a smart one. If you wouldn't mind, Oksana, I'd like to spend some time alone with his things. If it's all right with you, of course.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you need. And she'll back away slowly and start to shut the door and say, "Good night. Take
Good day.
some rest."
We'll speak in the morning. Thank you again.
Nothing to thank me for, my friend. And she'll shut the door.
Okay. Oksana, what are you doing now? Are you headed back downstairs or are you headed to bed?
I'm gonna make a snack and then go to bed. And by a snack I mean a full meal. But just empty the fridge because she doesn't know how to cook. So like raw meat, whatever's
in there.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Some questionable butter.
Wilhelm had left you a plate on the table in the kitchen.
Ooh, she will absolutely take that.
Okay. Fair enough. Sicarious and V, what are you guys doing?
I think V feeling super vulnerable for like the first time in a very, very long time in her life, will start to awkwardly walk away and retreat unless the conversation continues. But that's, I think, what she'll do.
Okay. Sicarious?
As she's turning to walk away, he will say, "Just remember what I said. Pushing everybody away too early. It's a very lonely place. I know from experience too. But once you open yourself up, you'll know that I know you would do anything for that. But you have to be willing to let yourself have it in the first place. I know you don't really like to take anything I have to say, but please, if there is one thing, if you truly want to pursue something, you have to let yourself be vulnerable, no matter the consequences."
It may be lonely, but at least he'll be safe.
What is the fun in that? There's an adventure out there. You got to be willing to seek it out. Safe is not always the best path.
Damn, Sicarious.
Like I said, he wasn't always a murder hobo.
But he is now.
Well, he lost his true love, so killed the world. But anyway.
Well, I know we haven't been on the best of terms. And thank you for what you're saying right now. I'll think about it. Also, I'm sorry for what I said about your fiancé. I said it to hurt you. I'm very good at doing that with my words, as you can see Basil's reaction right now. It's a talent of mine.
Yes, I know. And I will chalk it up as it was just our fate. So, things were said. I'm willing to move on if you are. Because if what is coming up is truly what we've been told, if we don't have each other's back, then we will not succeed.
Maybe not friends yet, but comrades?
Let's not push it. With a smile.
All right.
So,
Good
anyway,
night.
enough of this mushy crap. He straightens up.
That's my line.
I'll see you in the morning.
In the morning.
Oh, little V Sicarious
Didn't
moment.
expect
I like it. Aw.
As
So nice.
V and Sicarious make their way to their separate rooms,
Making their way.
Scrump, I need you to roll a D100 for me, please.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Here we go.
This is where we see what happens to Wilhelm once the butter starts digesting.
Blueberry muffin, here I come.
All right, we got a 19.
19.
That's when I lost my.
Oh no.
Wilhelm, as you kind of shrug looking at the stick of butter with the potion seemingly shoved inside of it, you take a long, deep breath before tilting your head back and pouring the potion down your throat. At first, you feel nothing. Until you begin to feel a rumbling in your stomach. You feel bloated, but in the back.
No.
As you turn to look behind you, you see your buttocks now growing immensely,
What?
elongating out farther than you've ever seen it before. Easily
Fall damage
pushing
reduction.
back 2, 3, 4 feet away from your body. This buttocks, now almost taking on a mind of its own, begins to sprout 2 small appendages
What the fuck?
out the back as it scrolls down to the
Did
bottom.
we make this one? I don't remember.
You realize in that moment that Scrump truly is the Lord of Horses, as you have now become a centaur.
How do I feel about this?
Yes.
The Lord
Thank
of
you,
Horses.
The horse lord is nothing but without his patrons.
Wilhelm will look at Scrump. And
Oh,
pause
Scrump's gone
for
to
a
bed.
moment. Oh, you fucked up. Really?
No, go ahead. No, I'm here. I'm joking. Hey, you look fine, Wilhelm. Did you do something?
Hey.
Huh?
You will speak of this to no one.
And then he starts walking away. It has to kind of like he kind of knocks the bench out from the table, and he's like clearly like struggling, like getting used to walking like that.
Does he clip clop? Do his hooves clip clop?
You would definitely clip clop, right?
Yeah, there's definitely clip clopping happening.
Bobby. Bobby.
Oh, no, it's picking up.
my God.
Oh my god, I don't know how permanent this is.
Me neither.
Is this gonna like when we wake up in the morning? Are you still gonna have centaur parts? I mean,
I don't
kind of
know.
handy.
That being said, I feel like half the chat and probably half of you don't know I'm a furbolg. So, I mean,
It fits.
Bobby.
Someone said it in chat. All hail Wiltar. and I like it.
Wiltar.
Good old Wiltar.
Hey, man, it wouldn't be the worst thing being a centaur. That'd be kind of dope.
Hard to fit in the kitchen, but
That is my sign, you know.
Yeah.
Fair, fair.
Bobby. What's it
Oh,
like
no,
being
no.
the what's it like being the centaur
No.
of attention?
Bobby!
Bobby!
I like that one. That's a good one. Thanks, Dad.
As
Quit horsing around.
Will,
Oh no.
Hey.
Oh no. We have to end this episode
Sorry.
quick.
Yeah, end it.
we're getting there. Don't worry, we're getting there. Nay, will I keep this any longer?
Oh no.
As Wilhelm
Hey, stop that.
heads to bed, followed closely by Scrump. Scrump, you see the wisping tail of Wilhelm as he kind of sways back and forth in between clomps.
Scrump's giving up a few feet space on the steps in case he's got to take poopy.
Came back just to hear in case he got to make poopy.
Yeah, you're going up the steps going to bed. I'm just giving you a couple foot breathing room, you know?
As all make their way up towards their respective rooms, Tristan, remaining within the common room, you go look out the window as you typically do, being an individual not required of sleep. And as you do, you watch as the stars in the night sky start to fade in front of you. You feel your vision starting to blur before it goes black, and a vision crosses your eyes. As your eyesight comes back into focus, you find yourself in an otherwise darkened room. However, you hear the squeaking of something. You can hear something twirling, spinning. Unsure to what it is, you begin to follow the sound. Suddenly you come across a door. No walls to be seen around it, just simply a door. Clearly the sound is coming from the other side. Curious, you open the door and look through, only to see a man, an older gentleman, a very long, straight gray beard, his face wrinkled and withered from age, sitting at what looks to be a spinning loom. You see a golden thread passing through his hands as his foot bobs up and down on a pedal, causing the wheel to spin. As he looks over towards you, "Hello, Tristan. You are in a place far, far from your home. But that, my friends,
Oh,
is going to be a story
how
for
could
another
you?
day."
Called it.
How could you?
Right before the reveal.
Damn it.
Let's get him.
Unbelievable. It's a freaking riot.
Alara looks like crap.
Hey, man.
Oh God, what happened?
You know,
Hey.
Lucy's sticking around with that. You kidding me?
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, Blink, that was for the change of fate. And hey, I guess you guys are just going to have to tune in next week to find out who is this mysterious man sitting at a golden spinning loom. And
How long will Wilhelm be a centaur?
that too. With that said, thank you all for joining us for the evening. If you've gotten this far, we ever so much appreciate you for joining for the evening. And to our YouTube viewers, to our Spotify users, thank you again for your participation. And hey, YouTube people, put the comments down below. We'll read them in the next one, as apparently that's a new thing that we're doing. Aside from that, just a quick reminder, yes, we are going to have our dice going on sale, not next week, but the following week, which you can find in our merch shop. And that is all I have for the evening. Someone buy me some time while I look for someone to raid.
I got 5 minutes going here. Anybody got 5 minutes? $3. 5 minutes, $3. We're gonna go on raid. Anybody sold? 5 minutes, $3.
Careful,
guys.
Cantrip. Platinum.
You heard it here first. Careful, Cantrip Platinum.
Okay,
Coming to
okay,
you.
enough. Save that.
Man,
Save that for
my
next
character
year.
really
No,
needs
no,
some
no,
healing.
we're not
He's
doing
becoming
that. We're not
too
doing
nice
that.
around this party.
Guys, we are going to be raiding into our friends over at Art Hard Studio. They are back after a particularly long break. There's the raid message. You can copy and paste that, and just make sure that you're following, and you get that free emote. We did that for a reason. Please stick around for the raid. It helps us. It helps them, and it's a great time. For those of you who have followed for the evening, welcome to the Tripper fam. Totally not a cult around here. We just like blood snuggles at midnight from time to time. Totally not a cult. Kool-Aid's
Don't
on the
tell the
back
government.
on the back table. But with that said, to all of the adventurers out there, whether finding yourself back home with friends, knowing that a new mission is right around the corner, or a potion mixed up in your butter that may or may not turn you into a centaur, I beg of you all, one word of caution. Be careful out there. You can trip. Guys, love all your faces, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, I gotta hit the raid button. Hold on. Okay, we're raiding now. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's I figured it out. It's alright. Okay.
Cool, play cool.
Guys, we'll see you next week. Bye. Love you. Bye.